Whoa, is this Minecraft? Nah, it's CSGO, but it's a workshop map. But anyways, I don't know why I did that intro, but whatever. If you're trying to get some nice knife glove combos, then well, I mean, this is the video for you. But I'm just saying, as I make more of these videos, it gets harder and harder, and all of the knife glove combos look like they're all like mix and match. So look out for that. If you don't want that, maybe watch my older videos where I have more knife glove combos, which look honestly better than this. But right here, I think the ones I've come up with are actually pretty good as well. It's just not as perfect as the ones I've come up with before. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoy this video. Maybe subscribe if you like it, and maybe like it as well. And without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so for the first one, I got the Karambit Crimson Web and the Specialist Gloves Crimson Web. And you're probably going to be like, dude, why are you showing this combo? Everybody knows that this is a pretty well-known combo. So what's so special about it? Well, for one, both the knife and the gloves are in field-tested condition, and I'm pretty sure you can know that for a lot of knives, Crimson Web is really difficult to get a good wear on unless it's like factory new, because other than that, it looks really scratched. And yeah, it's true that the Karambit here is pretty scratched as well, but in my opinion, it's pretty negligible. You can't really tell, except like if you're actually staring at it. Because okay, let's say you're playing, right? You're playing and then you just flip this out. You can't really tell. I mean, yes, it's scratched a little bit. It's not that scratched, so I think it's still really good. And the only thing I have to complain about this combo is that if you take out your gun and start shooting, the gloves, it kind of looks musty. But I mean, to be fair, you're not really staring at your gloves the entire time, which is pretty good. So yeah, I got these two for the first one. Alright, so next up we got the Snow Leopard driver gloves and the Skeleton Knife Urban Mask, I think. And I think this is actually really similar to the King Snake gloves, but I think this one is actually a cheaper option, and in my opinion it doesn't look bad at all. And the Skeleton Knife really matches because both of them are really white, and I think, again, people might say that Urban Mask looks pretty gray and terrible, but in my opinion, I think it's pretty good, and it complements each other pretty well. And if you take out like a gun as well, the gloves looks pretty good. And also one more thing, because the Snow Leopard, the pattern or the skin pattern, whatever, it looks rough already, so it kind of matches with the rest of the gloves if you like make it scratched. And also the gloves are in field tested condition, which is pretty good, and it's kind of hard to tell that it is in field tested, and I think you could probably go for this one. Alright, for the next one, I got the Hand Wraps Caution and the Shadow Daggers Lore. Now, I chose the Shadow Daggers because honestly, none of the other lures match with the Caution gloves because of the shade of yellow, and because any other gloves has like the handle, then it's pretty hard to match it with it because the handle does not match with the gloves at all. And you know what doesn't have a handle? The Shadow Daggers. So I think it still looks like pretty good, even though the yellows don't match and it's a different tint. But overall, I think the Caution gloves they're a nice pair of gloves, but it's a very hard pair of gloves to pair it with anything. So this is the best that I've come up with, at least. And maybe you could pair it with something else that's not yellow, like a Gamma Doppler or whatever, but that would obviously be pretty hard. Alright, now next up we got the Hand Wraps Giraffe and the Karambit Rust Coat. And again, as with many of my combos in my videos, the Karambit is actually really negligible, or the type of knife you use is negligible, and it's not really just restricted to the Karambit, and you could use it with any other knife, like even like a cheaper one, like a say a Navajo or whatever, if you're actually like not that, you don't have that much money. But I think this one, it actually matches really well because the brown on both the gloves and the knife are really nice. Also, this is a low float Karambit because the lower it goes, the browner it gets. So yeah, I think this one is definitely a really interesting combo. I feel like if you had the money to buy a Karambit Rust Coat, you could probably get something nicer. But yeah, the gloves are on the lower end, so it's definitely a really good budget option if you spend too much money on your knife and you ran out of money. Now, alternatively, you could also use the driver gloves Queen Jaguar, I think. And while it doesn't really match as well as the giraffes, I think this is actually like an actually better option because the gloves look definitely nicer than the giraffe, and it's not that much more expensive. So I think this is definitely a really good option for a rust coat, or to pair with a rust coat. And if anything, you could just get a higher float rust coat because it gets less brown as it goes on. But yeah, I think this looks pretty clean. Alright, I'm kind of playing around with the same pairs of gloves here, but for the knife, I got the Talon knife Case Hardened, and it's a piss pattern, or it's more there's a lot of yellow and there's less blue. Because realistically, if you get a case hardened and you don't have a lot of money, that's what you're gonna get. Not a blue gem, because they're extremely expensive. But yeah, I think the yellows kind of actually match really well, especially when you inspect it. And it's not actually yellow, it's like a darker tint of yellow, but I think it's definitely really nice for a cheaper pattern or cheaper combo as well. Though I don't know if the Talon case harden is very cheap. Alright, what if you want a more expensive pair of gloves? Well, then you got the Arids, or the Sport Gloves Arid. And yes, the color is a lot brighter than the knife, but I think this is also a really nice match, as in my opinion, the Sport Gloves Arids are really clean. They match with almost anything, and it's just an overall a really good option to go with anything. And yes, it is kind of expensive, but I think field tested is maybe $300 around right now. And if you actually research or like look around a little bit, you can probably get one for less and at a pretty good wear as well. Alright, so when a lot of people buy a blue knife, which is typically a gamma Doppler, they like to top it off with like a specialist gloves emerald or emerald web, or like a I don't know, hedge maze or whatever. But I think one pair of gloves that's really slept on is the Broken Fang gloves Jade. And yes, I understand people don't like it probably because of the big Broken Fang logo on it, which admittedly it does make it look worse. But in my opinion, there's still a lot of green on it. If you get like an M9 or some gamma Doppler with it, and you kind of don't have a lot of money left for a really decent pair of gloves, I recommend you get this, the Jades, because honestly, I think in my opinion, it does look good, even with the big Broken Fang logo on it. And honestly, you don't even need an M9 bayonet with it, and you could probably get like a regular bayonet or something cheaper, like even like a gut knife gamma Doppler, which would look like a pretty banger. Like it would be banging, bro. And also, the gloves, it's really hard to tell if it's low float or not, because I don't know, it just looks rough overall, similar to the hand wraps, I guess. But yeah. Alright, for the last one, what if you're like actually so broke, like lowest of the lows, you don't have enough money, but you still want a pair of gloves and a knife that looks alright, decently nice? Well, then right here I got you the driver gloves racing green and gut knife forest DD pat, I believe. And yes, I mean the gloves are pretty scratched, but if you have enough money, like probably even like $10 or $20 more, you could probably get a higher float or higher wear, which would make it look a lot better. But yeah, the green on both of these look really clean, because especially the gut knife handle is really green and the color matches the driver gloves really well. So I mean, overall, I think, yeah, I mean the finish is not that good, but hey, at like $150, this is what you get. Alright, and low-key, if I mean I would run this maybe if I didn't have like anything else and I only had 150. But if you're not a really gloves guy, then I recommend you probably go for just a knife instead, which is like actually better. Like, because at $150 you can get some pretty high end or some better knives with a low, like bad wear or bad skin or bad pattern on it. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah. Well, that's the last one on this, and with that all out the way, that's all I have for this video. Thanks so much for watching, and I have one video planned, which is a green budget colored inventory, which I will try to maybe release sometime soon, maybe in the next week, probably in the next week. But yeah, also I have a Discord server now, which I use to ask my viewers about like questions about skins and whatever. So if you want to join that, it's in the description. And one more thing, I stream on Twitch whenever I do, or whenever I can, and on there I play a lot of Face It, and I'm Face It level 10, which, I mean, it kind of makes sense, but I'm trying to go pro eventually, maybe, possibly. But yeah, if you like watching live streams, then you should probably pop in. Alright, thank you guys, goodbye.